इसका स्क्रीन शेयरिंग होगा तो ब्लैकबोर्ड नहीं आएगा। How was your topic going? How are your tests? Are you improving? As long as you're improving, it's hello, good morning, everybody. Can you hear me?
Yes, good morning, ma'am.
Good morning, Pai. Good morning, Karmanya. Harish. Good morning, Tanvi. Are you there?
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning. So anybody remembers what we did in our last class? That was quite some time back. Yes. Yeah, so what did we do last time? All out of mind? Yes. Points. Good. Okay, so can we will begin today? I hope everyone had a great Diwali. Yes. And can I request everyone to have your videos on? Yeah, Nishi, any problem with your video? Yes, Adesh. Yeah, thank you, Nishi. Okay, so have you all written all the class tests? All of them? Hmm? Yes, everybody here on screen? Everyone's written all the class tests? Any doubts, any problems in the class test? Have you written down any doubts you had? Or just get the test finished off?
No, I think like but you know, I them up after online and I did answers.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So anybody else who had any problems? No? Okay, so it's been a long time. Maybe we even forgotten what we did last time. Anybody remembers what we did last time? Yes? Yeah, yeah. Last lesson was a month ago. So I think we were doing sentence completion, right? Yes, Karmanya? What were we doing? We had done sentence completion.
Sentence completion, close passage.
Yeah. Now, and we had done para completion first session. There's a session 13. Right? Remember? Hmm? Not all? Okay. So I hope this is being together. So anybody remembers how we went about para completion? No? All wiped off. So you have to start afresh. So anybody up there remembers? Pai? Do you remember what we did? So in para completion, what was it? One sentence was missing. Yeah, and we had to select the correct answer and fill up that sentence. So what are the things that we had to keep in mind in order to get your answer correct?
The tone of the passage.
Right. Yes. Yeah. Any other point? Yes, Karmanya, you were saying something?
I was saying the tone of the passage.
Tone of the passage, right. Anything else? And what did we eliminate? We eliminated any option which was not in this book or extreme, right? So basically, we had to look at the main idea of the passage, get a summary of it, then follow the concept and scope, right? The subject area of the passage, the keywords, essence of the passage, and of course, in order to understand the passage, you have to paraphrase, say it in your own words and figure out what the author is trying to say. Yeah. So when it came to the tone, what were we looking at? What did the tone give you? Positive or negative, the emotions. Yeah. All those come with the tone. So any option which doesn't go with the tone of the passage, we eliminate. Yeah. So maybe it is formal, informal, all those things. Then the logical flow of the passage is most important. So when you are inserting a sentence, either in the middle or at the end or in the beginning, we have to keep in mind the flow of ideas of the passage. Continuity has to be maintained no matter what. Yeah. And of course, we knew how to eliminate that we had done. Yeah. So this is a recap to get back to where we were. Now, there were three options, or the three types of questions that can come up. Introductory sentence, any of the middle sentences, and concluding sentence. So when you're looking at introductory sentence, what would that be? What should be there in the introductory sentence? This is the idea of the paragraph. There is a topic sentence. And in a concluding sentence, what would you look at? And there should be, now one thing you have to remember, the paragraph that you will get is not a passage in itself. Yeah, it's a part of a passage. So it may be the first sentence could be continuity of a previous paragraph. Last sentence could be a build up for the next paragraph. So keeping that in mind, we have to choose our correct option. So there could be a conclusion that is summarizing all the points in the or the idea of the paragraph, or it could be a continuation of an idea into the next paragraph. Now, this was important to remember, what cannot be an answer, right? So what can be eliminated? Anything that is restated, something that is already there in the paragraph, which is restated, that will be eliminated. Inference based on one of the lines, not the entire passage, but this one of the lines. That would be a specific thing, not overall. And okay, now when the inference is a conclusion drawn on the basis of given facts, but we cannot identify it. Anything that is not clear should be eliminated. So we had done these examples. Right? Remember these examples? Detective agency. Yeah, I hope you are recalling that we had done these. Right? And these exercise one we had done. You can look at your books. You don't have your book? You got volume 2? Okay. So you didn't remember what was, just in a hurry picked up one. So now we have done all this. Yeah. One thing left to do. Now you all continuing with vocabulary? No. If you are not continuing practicing vocabulary, that is still number 8 in class, right? And 9 onwards, I have told you to do for homework. Not done. 9. What about the others? You remember to do it for homework today. So anybody up there who has done these questions? Me, Adesh? Not done? Forgot? Yeah, celebrating Diwali, forgot. Anyway, you can do them for homework today, right? So 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. Right? So we'll do some more of these exercises so you can get your braces rolling. So this will be Para completion 2, session 14. Can you open your books? Have your pencils. What's about volume 2? Can you? Okay, so everybody over there, I hope you are back with your concentration and focus. Yeah. Okay, question number 1. Read carefully and give me your answer. Yes, both of you. Think individually.
If we have a paragraph like this and the last is one, can we, is it compulsory that it needs to be a conclusion?
I say it could be a conclusion. It would be a new idea setting up the next paragraph.
How would we know this one?
You have to read, analyze
What
what
is both of them on the like one is a continuation.
you have to see which one fits in best, which is in the context, which is in the scope of the paragraph. Right? So you have to look at the keywords, the main idea, the flow of the paragraph. Here you have a concluding sentence coming in. Why can it not be seen? You have to figure it out. Read carefully. And yes, you have to now pick up speed also. Because you won't get more than about 45 seconds. Maximum a minute. Depends upon how much time you use in the other questions. Just a second. You have to analyze what is given to you. And then you will be able to get your answer.
Right. You also want this.
You get the answer? Yes, anybody with the answer? No one? Okay, let's read it carefully. So anybody who has the answer can tell me. Sneha, Nishi, have you come up with an answer?
Ma'am, I am, but I'm not sure about the
Okay.
correct.
So, what do you think could be an answer?
According to me, it can be B or C, but I'm very unsure about it.
Anybody else with an answer? Tanvi? Yes, Tanvi, please. You can respond. Aditya? I think I missed what you were saying.
Hello, ma'am, audible?
Yes, yeah. What do you think could be an answer?
I think it could be C.
We see. Okay. So there's lots of confusion between. Okay, let's see whether it is C, D, A, or B. Anybody else who has an answer and would want to tell me? Come on. Yes, Karmanya, do you have an answer? No? Everything gone above your head? Okay, doesn't matter. We'll start thinking again. Okay, so what we do is, we'll do it. Let's see. Even I'm a little confused about the answer. So it says, and those newly democratic countries have done relatively well. Yeah. So what are the keywords in the first sentence itself? It talks about newly democratic countries. Yeah. So newly democratic countries have done relatively well elsewhere. So this is talking about other countries. The first flowerings of protests in the spring of 2011 brought not freedom but more tyranny and vicious civil strife. So some countries were got into democracy, others who did not get into democracy. You are looking at this word elsewhere, that is a key word. Yeah. Elsewhere means those who are not democratic. What happened in them? There were protests and brought not freedom but more tyranny. So they were still in tyranny and vicious civil strife. When the police in the tiny island kingdom of Bahrain, now this becomes a little specific. Now, if you see, what is the continuity in the of ideas? First, they say the newly democratic countries. Second, those which were not newly democratic as yet, but were fighting for democracy. Then we come to example of Bahrain, right? When the police in the tiny island kingdom of Bahrain failed to stamp out a reckless pro-democracy mutiny, the ruling family panicked. So there was mutiny, and the kingdom or the administration failed to stamp out the pro-democracy movement. Right? Now, what would come after that? Something to continue with life. Yeah. Now, A says, not only has Bahrain failed to progress, it has turned the clock back to where it was after a previous bout of sectarian tensions in the 80s. Does it give a clue? We're talking about democracy, protests for democracy, failing to put down the protests. This is not really in that scope. It is talking about Bahrain, but does it continue? Right? So we eliminate it. Now we come to B. The result is a grim standoff between the country's embittered two-thirds majority of Shia Muslims and a very Sunni minority. Now, is it talking about religious minorities? So this is also not in the scope, right? Okay, next. It invited nearby Sunni monarchs to send in troops, which led to scores of deaths and hundreds of arrests. Now, this is talking about nearby Sunni monarchs. Send in troops led to scores of deaths and hundreds of arrests. This could be an answer, but it is not very clear. Yeah, let's see. But we'll keep it before we eliminate right away. Now we come to D. Nowhere as yet has the right to vote or greater freedom to speak translated into markedly better government, more jobs, or brighter, short-term prospects. Yeah. Now, if you look at D and go back to the paragraph. What is the paragraph talking about? Is it talking about only Bahrain? right? So should we go with C? What is D giving us? D is giving us a more or less overall idea, right? It's talking about nowhere as yet. So it began with newly democratic elsewhere. Then nowhere as yet has a right to vote or greater freedom to speak, translated into markedly better government. So when we're talking about democracy and your protest to bring in democracy, then what are we looking at? A better form of government.
Next week, we just give a conclusion for on ESG.
So see, what is the entire paragraph?
Next week for policy.
Yeah, so it speaks about newly democratic countries have done relatively well.
So that
Then elsewhere, the first flowering of protests, so there were protests. Then a specific example of Bahrain, where pro-democracy mutiny was not put down successfully. Yeah, so this is all talking about changing government. Right? Now, if you look at D, it says, nowhere as yet has the right to vote or greater freedom to speak translated into better government. So whether it is in the newly democratic or in those which are still fighting, the transition into a better government has not happened. So you have to paraphrase to get to the answer, right? Correct? So looking at the entire paragraph and the idea of the paragraph, we will eliminate A, B, and C. We will keep D as the answer. Correct? We have to analyze. These para completion questions need a lot of analysis. That's why we call it critical thinking questions. You have to think. It's not okay. We saw Bahrain and something to do with Bahrain. No. No. Yeah. So keeping in view the entire theme of the paragraph, what would fit in this? So here D fits in this. So D is the answer. Sorry. Right?
Ma'am,
Yes.
I can't seem to find the answer key for this. Can you tell on which page number is it?
Answer B.
No, answer key, the answer key.
Pardon, I didn't get it.
I can't find the answer key. There is usually answer key at the end of the chapter, right? I don't think it's here.
190.
190. But उसमें देखना practice 2 it's written, but it's starting. Okay, got it. There is no explanation. I got it.
It says this is exercise 2.
Yes,
Have
ma'am.
they don't have explanation. But it was supposed to be done in class. All those which are for homework will find it. Right? Okay, so everyone got this one?
I mean the answer key it's mentioned C though.
Yeah, because answer key C is there, but answer key
It's wrong, right?
It's wrong.
Okay.
Right? But we had not changed. Nothing had changed. Just change it to B. And please point it out to me if you find any answers which are still wrong and not changed. Yeah. So maybe the typing team could have missed out on changing it. Okay, now coming to question number 2. Yeah, read it carefully, think carefully. Now here you have your concluding sentence. Sorry, there's no blank given. Here you have to put in a concluding sentence. So it will be while us are willing to go voluntarily dash. Yes, anybody can got to the answer? I think this is a little less complicated.
I think A would be a would be an answer if it was not a.
But we need a concluding sentence to the
So if priority goes to including statements, then if you will not predict.
if this was in the middle, then you could have gone with B.
If it was the third sentence,
Yeah.
then second sentence is priority.
If there was another sentence to conclude, then this could be your answer. But here we're looking at the last. So yes, anybody came to the answer?
Can we introduce a contrastive opinion last?
It should be something.
I think it's B.
Yes, it's B.
B.
B. Okay, we say B. Anybody else with another answer?
Option A.
In front of you. Option A. Yeah. Okay. Adish, can we have you in? Adish, are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
What's your answer? What's the answer here? Fine. I think this one is not so complicated. You should have got the answer. Yes, fine.
I also think A.
You think it's A? Okay. So I think we have a few answers here. Let's see what could be the answer. Now we'll read through again. It says, US Secretary of State John Kerry and his Russian counterpart Sergei Lavrov affirmed their support for a Geneva Peace Conference in August 2020, but offered little in way of a strategy to bring the warring sides to the table. Yeah, so they were trying to mediate something, but they failed to get the warring sides to the table. Now the next sentence says, rebels appear unwilling to consider a plan that does not include Assad's ouster, while Assad is unwilling to go voluntarily. So the whole thing is about what, if somebody can paraphrase it? The passage, the passage, yes, second one. We're talking about the second one.
It's not the peace conference and whether the sides are able to come to the
Yeah, and they don't want to, they didn't come to the table first thing. Second thing, unwilling to consider a plan. Why? Because they want ouster of Assad, who is not willing to go. Yeah, so they want a peace treaty which will include his ouster. Right? Now, how do we conclude this or continue? A says, moreover, neither side seems willing to negotiate from a perceived position of weakness. So neither Assad wants to go, nor the warring countries want to negotiate. Right? That could be an answer. Now coming to B. Assad's regime's alleged use of chemical weapons in August has only complicated international discussions of the peace process. So, do the rebels come into the picture? Does it conclude with the rebels in the picture? It's talking about usage of chemical weapons, which has complicated international discussions. So now, if we didn't have these warring factions, the rebels appear unwilling, that could be a conclusion. Because here we are talking about who? We are talking about the US Secretary of State, and so the US and Russia trying to negotiate. With whom? With the rebels. So these are the two important factors. A conclusion which doesn't use that in it or doesn't conclude with that idea will not be really meaningful. Yeah. So if you look at Assad's regime, use of chemical weapons has only complicated international discussions for peace. So where the rebels come in? Nothing. Yeah. Now if you look at C, Arab League suspended Syria's membership and imposed. So this anything to do with the passage? No, it's out of scope. If you look at D, Arab governments, including Gulf states and Jordan, have provided armed and financial and diplomatic support to the opposition. Does that really conclude what we were talking about? It's not in books. Yeah. So C and D eliminated. Now coming to B, that also we have eliminated. So what is left? Anyway, if we come back to A again, it says, moreover, neither side seems willing to negotiate. We were talking about negotiating. Yeah. So neither side is willing to negotiate from a perceived position of weakness. No one wants to step down. Right? They don't want to agree to something in which their position is not maintained. Right? Assad doesn't want to step down. Rebels don't want an agreement in which Assad is not thrown out. Right? Both of them are sticking to their own ground. Means they don't want to step down. If you paraphrase it, say if they agreed to the strategy which doesn't include Assad's ouster, then the rebels would be leading. If Assad agreed to something which, if Assad stepped down voluntarily, it would be his weakness. So no one wants to show their weakness, or no one wants to be in a position in which they are weak.
So it means that they're not willing to negotiate to an agreement where upon negotiating,
Yeah.
they become weaker.
Yeah. So they are sticking to what they want. So rebels want Assad's ouster, and Assad doesn't want to step down. Yeah. So taking those both into consideration. So here A would be your answer. Okay, now number 3. Read carefully. Let's read the passage very carefully. Mark what the passage is trying to say, paraphrase it, and see what it really means.
Ma'am, option A and option D means the same.
Option A and D means the same. Okay. Is there any difference? What would fit in better? I think option D is a little more general.
Yeah, it is more general.
Yeah. And does it give a conclusion or continuity?
Yes.
Hmm?
So either it could be A or D.
Could be A or B. Yeah. Okay, keep both your answers and then see which one would be better. Yeah, analyze them and see which one would be better. Is anybody else with an answer? Yes, once.
I
Okay.
feel like and both this class and not lost.
Yes, anybody else with an answer? I think you should have an answer by now. Aditya,
Option A.
option A, okay. So why do you think it should be option A?
Because if you read the first two words, it shows previous studies. That means they're talking about the researches.
Yeah.
And therefore, option A is correct because then it contradicts the first, the entire paragraph.
Yeah, your analysis is perfect. Anybody else? Others? Sorry, Adesh?
Yes, ma'am.
What do you
A.
think? A, okay. Anybody else? Karmanya, you are a little confused between A and D. Have you gone through them again?
Yes,
Now what do you think?
A only, because the usage of words is probably better in concluding.
It's a little more to do with what the passage is talking about instead of a generalized state. So now the passage is saying previous studies over the years have suggested that we use one half of our brain more often than the other, playing a part in the type of personality we have. And then it goes on to describe it. While the left brain is usually associated with logical and analytical detail-oriented behavior, right has been connected to creative, thoughtful, and subjective thinking. Now, either it would be a continuation of this, or if we are concluding the paragraph, it could be something to do with the continuation from the topic sentence also. Yeah. So we look at A, but a new study published in the journal Plus One suggests there is no evidence within the brain imaging that proves some people are right-brained or left-brained. Right? So it is giving a contrast to the idea in the paragraph. Yeah. Now, if you look at B, the research team conducted 2 years of study sharing initiative where between the ages of 7. So, what is B do? Why did you eliminate? Why did you eliminate B?
Because that was the supposed.
It has
New
more
idea.
detail. Or a little more detail.
Idea or just
Expansion given details, specific details. Adding the specific details. Now, when we look at C, why did you eliminate C? It's more or less giving you the same thing as it already been said. Right? It is that all connections in the brain were examined, all possible combination of the brain regions were correlated for each brain region that was left lateralized or right lateralized. So it is more or less giving you what the study was about. Right? And if you look at D, however, we just do not see patterns where the whole left brain network is more connected or the whole right brain network is more connected in some people. So what is this doing? It is giving you again a part of it. Right? However, of course, it seems to have given a contrasting idea. But then if you look at the whole thing, it doesn't really give you a conclusion as such. Yeah. But if you look at the paragraph starts with previous studies over the years have suggested, and this goes on to a newly published, a new study published in the journal and what it is from. Yeah. So
But
A will be the
while
correct.
I do agree in the answer, won't it-
Yeah, it could be. But it is related to what the previous idea is. Yeah, it is giving you something that, okay, one study is saying this, but a new study is talking about this, saying that this is not. Right? So, and it could set up, like we said, it could be conclusion or set up for the next paragraph. So this could set up the point for the next paragraph. Okay. Now coming to number 4. Now, everyone can take a little less than a minute for this. Yeah. Try thinking a little fast so that we get to the answer. Already on there. Think why it should be C.
Because in we talk about the but see the more interesting paragraph is generalization. It talks about the climate patterns, but not one particular incidence of that storm. So see,
So there's a continuation that this has happened and more of this has happened. Yeah.
A, B, or D are not particular occurrences.
Particular occurrences, right? They are more specific. Okay. Okay, let's see what others have. Yes, guys, have you come up with your answer? Yes, Pai, do you have your answer? No? Hmm? Have you marked anything? Okay. Yes. Who wants to give me an answer?
I think it's option C.
You think it's option C? Okay. Let me keep C as an option. Anybody else? Nishi?
I'm option B.
Okay. Yes, Kamala, have you got an answer?
A.
A. C. So you've got A, B, C. No one has come up with D. Okay, so we've got more or less everyone's answers. Adesh, yes. Adesh, what's your answer?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, pardon, Adesh. What would be?
Ma'am, C.
A. Okay. Okay, so I think there's again some confusion. We've got various answers. Okay, let's see. Now it says it is not uncommon for an El Nino winter to be followed by a La Nina one, where climate patterns and worldwide effects are, for the most part, the opposite of those produced by El Nino. Yeah. So La Nina, you have heard of these terms? No? They talk about this all the time when they say it is getting warmer, rains are delayed, there's an El Nino effect, there's a storm somewhere. When there is unpredicted snowfall, and they talk about these terms. Yeah. So, and by the way, everyone, please do follow current affairs. Yeah, I hope you are. Reading up the newspaper, any news item, relating to all sorts of topics, including climate. Climate change is a very important topic. So anything related to climate change, governments, wars going on around the world, foreign policy, trade, commerce, evaluation of any currency, everything is important. Yeah. And any random things are also important. Not relating to Bollywood, but other things. Okay. So now, if we see from the first sentence, what do we get? That El Nino could be followed by La Nina, right? And the two give you opposite effects. What does El Nino give you? Winter. And La Nina gives us opposite climatic effects to worldwide. Yeah. That is, if El Nino talks about cold, La Nina could lead to warmer cities. Okay. Where there was flooding, there is drought. Where winter weather was abnormally mild, it turns abnormally harsh. Right? So this is giving you examples. We talked about being opposite. Now, how they are opposite. Where there was flooding, there is drought. Where there was winter, there could be mild. Where winter weather was abnormally mild, it turns harsh. So what would follow? Now, A says, by the time it had run its course 8 months later, the giant El Nino of 1997-98 had erased weather patterns around the world. Now, this becomes a little more specific, right? So, would a specific thing be your conclusion? Not really, right? Now, if you look at B, hundreds of families dashed frantically through the muddy flood to save what they could. Now, is that in this scope? Like, is the previous sentence talking about a specific region's flood? Then we could continue with saying that hundreds of families splashed through muddy flood. Would this be an answer? Not really. Yeah, we eliminate A and B. Because these are very specific and we need some reference to that specific in the previous sentence. This would be okay if it was in the middle of the paragraph, but not as a conclusion. Now C says, La Ninas have followed El Ninos 3 times in the past 15 years, after the 1882-83 event, and after those of 86, 87, and 95. So what is this talking about? It's talking about the trend. The previous 2 sentences were talking about trends in weather patterns. So this is also talking about the trend in the weather pattern caused by the 2 events in different years. Right? So this could be an answer. Now we look at D. By the time the debris settled and the collective misery was tallied, devastation had in some aspects exceeded that of El Nino in 1953. So is this in the scope? It's talking about something related to El Nino, but is this in the scope of the paragraph? No. Yeah. So we have eliminated B. So now if we come back to C, should we keep that as a conclusion?
But then C is also too specific.
C, is C specific? Or is it a continuation of what we were talking about earlier? Earlier we were talking about El Nino and La Nina and the opposite effects they have. Then the second sentence was a little about the details about what really happens. Right? Where there was flooding, there is drought.
But then if we take the last line, so it tells about the deranged weather patterns.
Yeah, so it is continuing.
Option A is the
with,
best way to conclude that.
by the time it had run its course 8 months later, that is one specific. If you look at the paragraph, it's talking about what happens in general. Right? Now, It's not talking about that a specific incident took place, and then we could say by the time it had run its course 8 months later. Now, if you say it had run its course 8 months later, the giant El Nino of 1897-98 had deranged weather patterns around the world. This is too specific. Yeah, it is too specific to use as a concluding sentence to the paragraph. We need something which is in line with what the paragraph is talking. Right? Yes, Kamala, do you get it now?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So if now we read the C again, it says La Ninas have followed El Ninos 3 times in the past. So this is what we were talking about in the first sentence, right? It is not common for El Nino winter to be followed by La Nina, La Nina 1, where climate patterns and worldwide effects are for the most part opposite. Yeah. Now we come to see that this has how many times this has happened all over the world, right? So C will be your answer. Sir. Others are either specific or not in the scope. Okay. Okay. Now we come to. So everyone got this. Whoever had any doubts. Anyone still has a doubt? No. Okay. Now come to number 5. Well, and the type B again, see whether it is in keeping with the tone of the passage. It doesn't have a full stop after again. Yes. So, see, what is the answer?
I didn't got an answer.
Get the question. Any, So what do you think? Even if you have a faintest of like, which two options would you eliminate?
I would eliminate A and D. A and C, sorry. A.
Yes. Okay. Now you are left with B and D.
But still, I'm not even sure about eliminating A and C because it's very confusing here.
Read the passage again. Underline the main words, the key words. Okay, Pahi, do you have your answer?
Ma'am, maybe option D.
Maybe option D. Okay. Fine. Ramanya?
Option D.
Option D. Adesh, are you there? Yes, Adesh.
Yes, ma'am.
What's your answer?
Ma'am, D.
Hmm? D or B?
D.
D. Okay. Yes, Aditya, where you? Aditya,
Hello.
what's your answer? B
I
or
think it's option D.
wrong? Right? Okay. See? It says efforts at soil conservation brought back the land. Yeah? So there were efforts of soil conservation. When the rains came back in 39 and dust storms started to settle down, farmers on the plains started turned to the Ogala aquifer. So when it says when the rains came back in 39 and dust storms started to settle down, what idea do you get? Right?
That the region had not received rain from quite a while.
Long time, right? And earlier it said there were efforts of soil conservation. So now they turn to Ogala aquifer. What is an aquifer? You must have studied geography till the 10th lessons.
It's like a
Yeah, in the middle of a desert, when you have oil or dry region, you have little area which has a water table below it or yeah, that would be a usually in the desert settlements are around that because they get water. Okay, the 174,000 square mile water table beneath them to satisfy their crops needs. So where was the water table? Beneath them, that means it is underground. Yeah. Now coming to the options, A says wells started cropping up everywhere. Some feeding crops that require more moisture than the wheat lost 4 decades of world. Do we get the idea that there were wells cropping up everywhere? Water was below. Yeah. So we don't really, we can, but that wouldn't be really a concluding sentence. It could be that they, with technology, they dug up wells to get to the groundwater, but it's not like wells started cropping up everywhere. Water was not that abundant. Okay, now what seemed like a good idea at the time was the beginning of a bad idea, said one old timer at the close of the film. Is this in the scope? It's talking about a film which has not come up in the paragraph at all. And even if we talk about beginning of a bad idea, it's a negative sentence. If you look at the paragraph, it's all a positive tone. So in the middle of a positive tone, we won't really go with a negative idea. Okay, at the present rate of depletion,
yeah, that's one, right? About the
yeah, but that was not a negative idea, but it was a continuation of, this was one theory, this is another theory. Right? Okay, now at the present rate of depletion, aquifer could at some point be pumped dry. Is the paragraph talking about depletion? It's talking about getting water. Yeah, so we eliminate C. So what are we left with? We've eliminated A, B, and C. We're left with D. So D should be the answer. It should make sense. In a region with so little and such unreliable rainfall, okay, there won't be a full stop after rain. It made sense. All the water that they could ask for was right there under their feet. Yeah. So this is what they have been saying, water under the underneath, and technology to get it finally was affordable. So the water conservation you were talking about in the first sentence is about the technology to get to the water, right? So D is your answer. Right? Anybody with any doubts now? What's the time? 40. Okay. Okay, guys, we'll take a little break, but not more than 5 minutes. I will start off even if nobody's there. So mark your watches, come back and help. You have a test with you? What you forgot? Okay, everyone back? Right? Okay, you can do the next question. If you have already done it, you can come up with your answers. This is question number 6. Anyone done it?
Yes, ma'am. Option A, I think.
Yeah, okay. Anybody else? Aditya, what's your answer to number 6?
I think it's option A.
Okay. So, yes, Nishi, can you give me the reason for choosing option A?
Yes, ma'am.
So, this is
ma'am.
one native others.
Oh, ma'am, can you repeat?
Question number 6, you said your option was A.
Yeah.
Just wanted to know what the logic behind choosing A.
Yes, ma'am, because we have to eliminate option B and option D, we have to eliminate them, and then between option A and C, it says won't disaster, won't be starling flood of goodwill, and the first one says send you forward hugs and smile, and that's why it's A option.
So it's talking about the entire web.
Yes.
Yeah. And shining place, it's more positive and it's more in line with what the paragraph is talking. Right?
Yes, ma'am, the theme matches more.
So A is the correct answer. So everyone got it? Okay, now we come down to question number 7. Yes, anyone with the answer? Try to eliminate options which you think would not fit in as the answer. You will automatically get down to only one. Yes, was I think I give you just let's clear. Huh? That's not 5 minutes. Taken on about 15 minutes. Okay, so what's the answer to 7? So we've done 6, we are on doing 7 more. And get the answer, please. Okay, yes. Answer for number 7. Adesh,
Yes, ma'am.
answer for number 7.
D.
B or D?
Ma'am, D1, we should recognize this at least.
The worst problems. Sorry, you said B or you said D? Adesh,
Yes, ma'am.
you said B or D?
Ma'am, D.
Okay. Yes, anybody else with the answer? Come on, hurry up, guys. Aditya?
Ma'am, even I think it's D.
Okay. Ramanya, where's your answer?
I could not get to answer yet.
You can't get to it. Did you try to eliminate?
Yes, B and C can be eliminated.
B and what can't be
E.
eliminated?
A and D cannot be. I mean, I'm confused.
Cannot. Okay. So read again and see out of A and D, what can you eliminate? Look at the scope, the tone, the idea as such. Yeah. Okay, now let's get to reading it. I hope everyone else has got to the answer. We'll check whether you have got it correct. What's yours? She said D for you also B. So, okay, those who have
Yes,
got
option D.
option D, okay. So why do you think it should not be A and should be D only?
I'm like reading the last line. True, the human race may not be able to resolve. Then the last one also says that, but it has established why the universe has structure. That means it has done something. The human race has done something,
Something,
and that's what option D says.
yeah, and
That we should recognize that there is at least some progress.
and it is a stump, right? So yes, D is the answer, because if you look at the others, in the Eurozone crisis, some leaders, is it talking about leaders and crisis as such? No, right? Worst problems can be solved by face-to-face negotiation. The entire idea of the paragraph has nothing to do with that. And C says there is only one route through the crisis. So all of them are only talking about a crisis and a failure. There's a political crisis. None of them are dealing with the scientific discovery that the paragraph is talking about. Okay, now coming to number 8. C. Okay, so yes,
Option C.
option C. You think it's A? 8-1. A. Read it completely and see anything wrong in it.
I think it's A.
When you think it's A, okay. Go through the options again and see if it confirms what has been said in the paragraph.
Ma'am, I think it's either B or D.
D or B.
Yeah, because I eliminated A and C at the first, like reading itself. I don't know.
So we've got all different types of answers. Adesh, what's your answer? Then you talk about smartphones and commercial films. So this is very good commercial films.
A.
Okay, you think it's A? Seriously. Answer. No, actually, Okay, so now we've got a few answers. Let's see which one would be correct. Now reading through the paragraph again. Nasiruddin Shah is undoubtedly one of the best performers on the Indian screen. So we are confirming that he is successful. Right? Despite his atypical looks, he managed to make a mark for himself both in parallel and commercial. He is successful in both the genres, but gives credit to Bollywood megastar Amitabh Bachchan for paving the way for unconventional looking heroes in the film. Is that it? Solution and this is not good. Okay. So now it is talking about Nasiruddin Shah. He is an unconventional looking hero, but he is successful in both parallel and commercial films. So that is the main idea. And he also gives the credit to Amitabh Bachchan. Right? So now coming to the options. Option A says, Nasiruddin's whole achievements are no mean feat, but despite 3 national awards, international honor, and acclaim, the seasoned actor wonders why he isn't seen as a commercially viable artist by filmmakers. Is that correct?
No.
No, because it already says that if it had said that he is successful in parallel cinema, then this would be true. But it says he is successful in both parallel and commercial films. So A will be evident. Now coming to B. B says nowadays unconventional looking actors like Nasiruddin Shah and Irfan among others, have raised the bar in film. But Nasiruddin feels the real credit goes to Amitabh Bachchan. Now the first part of the sentence, if you see, could be taken as an answer. That is, they have raised the bar in film down. The second part says the credit goes to Amitabh Bachchan. That is a repetition of what is already said in the sentence, previous sentence, right? So we won't repeat anything again in the conclusion. Now coming to C and D. C says mentality has not changed. It is just that the audience has always appreciated good acting. So he is known for his good acting. We could say this would be an answer, even though mentality has not changed is there. That's a negative, but it leads to like appreciation of good acting, because of which can explain why he has been successful in spite of unconventional looks. Now coming to D, but the tendency has not changed till the chocolate face is accepted. Now that does not go with what has been said in the paragraph, right? So between B and C, we could eliminate B because we don't want repetition. We can stick to C. Right?
Mentality has not changed.
Like we are talking about people who like on the overall, when we are talking about a hero, what do we expect? Good looking hero. When we say hero, he should be good looking. Right? Not so good looking. People usually don't accept, but in spite of that,
In the situation got over time.
yeah,
They have grown.
yeah,
Yes.
but still he has, but still
But that's the
like,
best fitting option.
normally people think of heroes as good looking, but they appreciate good acting. Yeah. Yes, somebody was saying something.
The para surmises that Nasiruddin Shah, he has managed to make a mark for himself in both parallel and commercial films. That means that he has acted in both films, but he isn't seen as somebody, a crowd puller by the filmmakers. So that's what I think.
Yeah, it could be, but then that would
He has
come.
managed to act, but like he isn't seen as a viable actor who can maybe get the bugs in commercial films. So that's what I'm like.
Then how would he make a mark?
If he,
No, making a mark means acting in film, right? Not pulling the crowds. That's what I'm saying. Like you can act a supporting role, but you are not seen as the lead. That's what. It's just a thought. I don't know. Even C can be correct or even B. But yeah, in B there is a repetition, so I think B will be wrong.
this is not absolutely wrong. But now if you look at look at option A, doesn't it contradict the part where it says made a mark for himself in both parallel and commercial films? So if he has made a mark in commercial films, then would we say that he isn't seen as a commercially viable actor by filmmakers?
I mean, ma'am, he was better, like he was seen differently earlier and he's seen in a different lens now.
Yeah, but like there is still a little bit of contradiction.
Okay, ma'am, I think then I should go and see.
So like we need a safe option. We don't need something which is repetition or contradiction of what has been already stated. Right? So that's why we will go with A. If it would have said that he has made a mark for himself in parallel films and somewhat in commercial films, then we could go with it. Right? But the paragraph clearly says that he has made a mark for himself in both parallel and commercial films. So that makes it a little difficult to choose it. Okay?
But ma'am, then again, the question arises that mentality has not changed. This sentence, is it being said by him?
He is still surviving, but like it says that mentality has not changed. Mentality of whom? Mentality of the people and maybe the filmmakers. Where now the point of the paragraph is that in spite of his unconventional looks, he has still made a mark. So we are talking about unconventional looks, right? So that means that people still want people, heroes who are good looking. So
Okay, I got it.
with that in mind, we could go with C. Now B could be an answer if there was not a repetition of this part, but Nasiruddin feels that your credit was shown. Right? So like it would be in the first sentence, if we add this sentence over here and read the whole thing, but credit but gives credit to Bollywood megastar Amitabh Bachchan paving the way. And then again we would go into but Nasiruddin feels a real credit goes to Amitabh Bachchan. That becomes a little difficult. Otherwise, the rest of option B was a perfect answer. Right? Okay, so like we would be looking for the best possible answer. So I think C would be the best possible answer in this case. Okay. Okay, now coming to number 9. Anyone who has done this in the meantime? I think it's C. I think it's B. Yeah, are you confirmed with C? You confirmed with C?
Ma'am, I think it's option A because it cannot be option B because it comes a new, like out of nowhere, this term comes, the grand challenge called American University. That's why we eliminate option B. And then option C because as lab, ma'am, again, it has many unnecessary information, and option D also because I mean it's kind of irrelevant. So we are only left with option A.
Yes, you are correct. list issues. So I think your reasoning is correct. A is the answer. And if you see, okay, let's see what the other law said. Does somebody disagree? If you still think this is your opinion, very good. And if you look at D, it says, by the time classes began, enrollment had swelled. Now, what is the passage talking about? Would the site would offer, right? Would offer free these online courses free of charge. Yeah. Now, if you look at B, does it fit in? Because enrollment is happening. No, not really. You can enroll even without paying. But it's already talking about when enrollment, when by the time classes began. So it is a step ahead. But does it, if you look at A, is it better fit than B? Yeah. It's more in continuation with what has been already said. So it also says he said. Like he's saying that the site would offer massive online courses, and then there's a reason why he's giving it for free. Yeah, the student debt at $1 trillion in the United States alone, greater than credit card debt. The current education system with its barriers, privileges, vast inequalities has no longer was no longer defensible. We said, right? So that is a better option than B. Okay, so everyone got it? Your answer is A. Nishi has already given the reason, and we will explain further why there was a doubt between D and A. So anybody still has a doubt? If not, we'll move on to 10. 10 to D. Figure out, is the reasoning correct? Figure out your reasoning. Any answer you choose should be justified.
And why requested aptitude to the activity. So this is the reason. So and then it aid a certain is peculiarity have been aid by linguists, where it is like it is and it because it is in context that these peculiarity that is related to previous
Peculiarities. Okay, so what is it? What is the paragraph actually getting?
languages.
Yeah. Are they
Or
already-
C, I also think C.
Is it a repetition of what has been already said earlier?
Like, yes, because they are talking about the history. So, yes.
Yeah. So it is something that paraphrase what they've already said. Yeah.
Yeah.
So would you take that as a good?
But also,
It means same. It can, you can say it's a continuation.
I also think
actually
C.
means same thing.
I also can see, but I think that like, there should be a sentence before, and then it should be you have the language evolve towards an optimal state of. I think.
So what's the answer?
C, but I don't think B now, but I think I'll stick to C.
It's the C. Then it's-
Ma'am, I don't think it is C. I think it's option A again.
Okay.
Ma'am, because it cannot again be B, like B and D are the first options you would eliminate here, and then it cannot be option C because I think it is less relevant when compared to option A in the paragraph.
Right. I think you are moving in the right direction. Let's see, let's listen to other people's answers. Maybe they have a different explanation. Right? We'll just wait and see. Okay, so Pai, what's your answer? Yes, Pai.
A.
What's your answer to number 10?
Ma'am, maybe A.
What do you think? Which option would you keep and what would you eliminate? You didn't get the answers yet?
Yes, ma'am. Working on it.
Okay, you work on that. Okay, Aditya. What would you confirm as an answer?
A.
Okay.
Ma'am, because in the last line, the word traditionally is mentioned. So the ending statement should be in contrast.
Yes, you are correct on that also. Okay, so who else is still working on it? Adesh? I can't figure out whether you are there or not. Your video is not on. So can you please respond?
Ma'am, I am there.
What's your answer to 10?
Ma'am, A.
Okay. Karmanya, what do you think?
I don't know.
You don't know? You're still confused? So what did you eliminate?
Nothing.
You didn't eliminate anything. So, okay, did you get to the main point of the paragraph?
Yes, I mean, it's talking about different languages and
And
linguistic ideas.
so, yeah, I think few of us have a little problem. Okay, we'll analyze this. It says languages are extremely diverse, but they are not arbitrary. Yeah. Behind the vocabulary is arbitrary. Arbitrary is not just randomly taken up. There's a scientific reason behind that. Behind the bewildering contradictory ways in which different languages conceptualize the world, we can sometimes discern order. Yeah, so when there are different languages in the world, we can find a relationship between them and we discern order, we can say something on that side. Linguists have traditionally assumed that this reflects the hardwired linguistic aptitude of the human brain. So we now, after the two general statements, we come to something specific. As linguists have traditionally assumed that this reflects. What reflects? What does this refer to? Yes, what are they talking about when they say this? This refers to that is there some order. Yeah, when we talk about different languages in the world, there is some relationship or order between them, and this reflects the hardwired linguistic aptitude of the human brain. The linguists talk about the hardwired linguistic aptitude. Every human brain has the capacity to grasp language or to create language, right? Okay. Now we have to continue from here. A says, yet certain scientific studies propose that language universals aren't simply prescribed by genes, but that they arise from the interaction between the biology of human perception and the bustle, exchange, and negotiation of human culture. So, can somebody paraphrase this particular sentence? Paraphrase option A. What does it try to tell you?
The language universal ability to understand or discern language. So
Okay, one minute. I think you have one minute. What are the key words in option? Keywords. Something else?
Ma'am, I also think interactions would be a keyword in here because we talk about language and
What is
computer
the first keyword you are looking at in the
scientific.
scientific studies? Yeah, scientific studies propose something. The earlier sentence was about linguistics, what they think about. This is talking about scientific studies proposed, and then you can go on to that. They aren't simply prescribed by genes. What were the linguists saying? Traditionally assumed that reflects hardwired linguistic aptitude of the human brain. So when they say that it is innate to the human brain, it is inbuilt or inborn. So we can talk about it as it exists. While the scientists say that it doesn't exist because of the genes, but happens due to interaction between what? Biology of human perception and how we perceive things, and the basal exchange negotiation of human culture. So it is due to the interaction of cultures that languages develop, right? If you were to paraphrase this and get the wisdom. Okay, so does that make sense as a continuation or as a concluding sentence of the paragraph? It is contradicting the idea that linguists have put forward, right? Okay, now let's see, we'll keep that and we'll see what can be eliminated. Language has a logical job to do. To convey information, and yet it is riddled with irrational, irregular words, random genders. So does this sentence continue? So we have to maintain the flow of the paragraph. Does it flow? Does it maintain the flow of the paragraph? No. It brings in a new concept, a new idea. Yeah. So we cannot conclude with that. C says you think languages would evolve towards an optimal state of concision, but instead they accumulate quirks that hinder learning. Is that not only for foreign but also for native speakers? Is that in continuation with the idea? We are talking about that how languages develop. They are not arbitrary, but there is a certain order. And then comes that what linguists traditionally assume. And then this comes to a little bit of specific that, okay, we are talking about genders, verbs, etc., what the language is about. Does it fit in? It doesn't, right? It doesn't maintain the flow of the paragraph. So we will eliminate C. Yes, Karnamanya, are you getting? You're getting the reasoning? Yeah? Okay,
Yes.
now coming to okay, now coming to D. These peculiarities have been explained by linguists by reference to the history of the people who speak it. Now, these peculiarities, what peculiarities? Are we talking about the linguistic aptitude of the human brain as peculiarities? No. Now, if you look at this sentence carefully, it is talking about linguists by reference to history. Now, linguists by reference to history and linguists have traditionally, does it mean the same? Yeah. So it's just a repetition of what the previous sentence, part of it. And the rest of it, like what are the peculiarities? Is it clear what peculiarity it is talking about? No. Right? So we eliminate D. Now we have eliminated B, C, and D. Now we get back to A. Read it carefully. Your previous sentence says linguists have traditionally assumed that this reflects the hardwired linguistic aptitude of human brain. Then we go on to yet recent scientific studies propose that language universals are simply prescribed by, aren't simply prescribed by genes, but they arise from interaction between biology, human perception, and muscle exchange and negotiation of known culture. So does that make sense? Like how does language originate and how does it develop? Right? Got it? So your answer is A. Now everyone got the logic behind A? Manya, did you get the logic now? You got the
Yes, sir.
reasoning? Okay. Now we can. Okay, we'll do a couple of questions from exercise 3 and then you can do the rest for home. Exercise 3, if you see, it's mostly the not concluding sentence, but the middle sentence. Right? So when you're talking about something coming in the middle, and if you look at the options, there could be more than one sentence. Yeah. So accordingly, you have to be able to analyze carefully. So here, the main thing you will do is eliminate what doesn't fit. Right? Always try to eliminate what doesn't fit. So you can answer number 1. Question number 1. Okay, now here, I hope you have Olympic sport in your book. Yeah, Olympic sport. Now, when you have a middle sentence, one thing you have to keep in mind, it should follow from the first sentence and should connect to the next sentence. Yeah, it should be a connector between the two. So anything that doesn't connect the two ideas will not be lost. So let's have your answers, please.
Option A.
Option B. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Only A.
BA. Okay. Which? Yes, Adesh. Only A or only B?
Only A, ma'am.
Only A. I think most of you think only A. Let's see if it's correct. It says women's boxing is yet to be recognized as an Olympic sport. If that happens, the dream of most of the tough girls may come true. So the tough girls want boxing in the Olympics, boxing in Olympics, but it is not there as yet. Yeah. So what connectivity? A says the International Boxing Association has been campaigning to include it as an event in the 2008 Beijing Olympics. That does make sense. This one of the others can be eliminated. B says, though boxing is a very tough sport, many women are seen willing to take up professional boxing nowadays. That's already said in the last sentence. Yeah, if that happens, the dream of most of the tough girls may come true. Now C says, even some state governments are now willing to employ the women pugilists. That's not in the scope. Yeah, we can eliminate. So the only one left is A. B will go with only A. Okay, now coming to number 2.
Ma'am, all of these.
All the 3.
Please,
All the 3, I think.
all of them make sense? A and B. Okay, we have all of these. We have A and B. Anybody else?
when we say all of these, we will each single sentence written or three of them in sequence written.
See of them.
So that it
You think C doesn't fit.
if what's that there's no connection between C and last given sentence to that. According to me. Right.
Let's see. Says male vanity is no different from females and traits. So our keyword is male vanity. So the paragraph would be talking about that. And your last sentence is a confident man no longer shies away from stating his deep interest in beautifying his appearance. Okay, here says Western cosmetic houses have spent millions of dollars researching this. Men want to look amazing too. So it's talking about what the Western cosmetic houses have. Today's urban male spends as much on beauty product as his female counterpart. Yeah. Male spend as much. It is perhaps the fastest growing market segment of the feel good, look good industry. So if you look at the A and B, just C follow. Yeah,
After A, B, C follows.
C follows. Now comes the question part about whether all these do connect to the lab. A confident man no longer shies away from stating his deep interest in beautifying people. This follows from the feel good, look good industry. Why? This is explaining why. Right? So all of them fit into the blank space we have. So all of them make a complete paragraph.
But C should, if we do something there, shouldn't C be the last sentence, not the second half.
See, what I said is, now today's urban male spends as much in particular that is male female counterpart. It is perhaps the fastest growing market. What? The market itself. Yeah. Now, if you look at why it is the fastest growing market, because the man no longer shies away. Yeah, and has a deep interest in beautifying his appearance.
First two sentences, they're talking about that they're good,
Yeah.
and even they are conscious about their review. The third, they talk about the market, which is on the men. So I think actually, it's not all of this.
Now, third is what? The West. Now, if you see A, the Western cosmetic house. What are the Western cosmetic houses? Belonging to the market. Yeah. So they have analyzed something. And B says today's urban male spends on beauty products. So what are beauty products? Part of the market. Does it connect the dots? Yeah, does, right? And now the concluding sentence is already given to you. You have to fill in whatever comes in between. So all of them do make sense. Yeah, they are in the scope and they are connecting the dots. Yeah. Okay, just one last number 3 we will do and then the rest will continue. Yeah. Okay, so just number 3. These are pretty easier ones, maybe a little complicated. Whether to choose this or not choose that. You just do it, I will discuss in class. Yeah. I want your reason. Yeah, maybe good or wrong, all reason to be different and you put them to the ones. Okay, what's the answer to number 3?
Yeah.
Read the first sentence again. Yes, anybody with the answer? I think she has the answer. Yeah, what's your answer?
I'm option C.
Option C. That is B. Yeah, only B. Okay. Who else has the answer? Aditya?
I think it will be all the three.
All the three. Okay. Anybody else? Kamanya, what do you think?
My answer is not listed as an option.
Not listed. You have to choose what from what is already given to you. You have no other option. So just look at the options that are given to you and see which one fits in this.
I mean, I'm getting the answers B and C.
B and C. Okay. Now you don't have an option of B and C. So you have to choose a little more. Okay, let's see. It says if you can't give every student a computer, at least give them a mouse each. So instead of giving them every student a computer, at least give them a mouse so that they can work on the computer. I said it's they can share, right? So now you come to then it says this seems to be the reason behind Microsoft Research Labs India's development of a software solution that allows the use of multiple mice in a computer. Right? Now you have to fill in something in between. According to a recent study, it was seen that at least 5 students work on a single computer in government school. Does it connect between the first and the last sentence? It does. Okay, this seems to be a reason. Is this a reason behind Microsoft Research Lab development of a software solution? It could be. Let's see, let's look at the others. This will help them use the same computer simultaneously for the cost of a few extra mice. Is there a little more specific?
But what is the reason? The reason is that what is the purpose of the mouse? Purpose of the mouse is that all the sensors will be displayed in a monitor. Therefore, it is helpful.
Yeah.
If they are using 5 different mouses or one computer, the sensor is not visible. It is of no use. So third sentence is important as the first.
They are saying, give them a mouse. Why give them a mouse? This will help. What is this? Giving them a mouse. Right? Will help them use the same computer simultaneously for the cost of a few extra mice. Then it comes to this seems to be the reason behind the research of and development of the software.
If we said this will help, and this seems to be a reason that won't come together. This will help, and why this will help? Because there are different sensors, and this will be the reason. This seems to be the reason. So that will be more appropriate.
So what do you think of the answer? Now, okay, let's look at C. Each mouse will have a different cursor color, and all of them are displayed on the monitor. Does that make sense as a reason? Or it seems to be the reason. You have to have the reason behind it.
I think C would fit, but after the last sentence.
We want it in the middle.
So I think it's A.
C doesn't fit in the middle, right? So we eliminate C. Now between A and B. So we are talking about this seems to be a reason, and this will help. What will help them use the same computer?
Giving them mouse.
Giving them mouse. Right? So would you go with A?
I still did not think, because the
See,
purpose
we have
of giving them
no,
mouse
it's not only the purpose. We also have to look at the sentence formation and the grammar. So we have to have a flow not only in thought, but also in the structure. the sentences have to be cohesive. So if you look at the flow, then if we say, if you can't give every student a computer, at least give them a mouse each. According to a recent study, it has been seen that at least 5 students work on a single computer in government schools. This seems to be the reason behind Microsoft Labs India's development of a software. Now, the last sentence and A could connect, but does it connect to one, the first sentence? Or does B connect better? We have to connect between one and the last one. What would connect? B connects better, right? B connects to first one as well as the last one. Now, if you had A as your first sentence, then B, then this, and then comes the last, it would make sense. So we have the problem, then we have the solution. But we can't have the problem in the middle, and one solution first and another solution after. Right? So we will not go with A, we will go with B. But B fits in better. We have to see what fits in best. There could be 2 options which seem to be correct, but what fits in best? Only B, right? Okay, so now the rest of the exercise you will be doing for homework. Yeah. When you have some homework from the previous one also. If you get time after finishing exercise 3, then you can move on to exercise 4 also. This 4 is for self-practice. Complete self-practice. Right? There are 15 questions in exercise 3. And then exercise 4 you can do this week or next week, but next week you have more homework to do. Better to do it. So anybody with any doubts, all you have to do is start thinking logically. Right? So I'll see you next week. Till that time, please keep practicing. Right? But next week we'll be moving on to a new topic. I want you to be thorough with this. But next week you will have a test covering this topic. Yeah, practice is fine. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.